All right. Okay, Stephanie, we're just about finishing the coaching on topic, but there was just a few things that were brought out that I need to emphasize to you, all right?
Okay.
And I think I wanted to talk about it. The Pyramid Plus approach is a database, which means that they are data, that they rely on data for the resource, to receive grants. And I just had a question. Why do you feel it's important to be a data-based program?
I think it's important to figure out what the problems are,
Okay.
because that kind of helps for them to be able to teach people on it. They need to know
Okay.
what kind of the issues are
Mm-hmm.
that they're
Okay.
seeing in classrooms to help teach the teachers
Yeah,
about it.
that's
So,
good. I like that. And I think another way is that that's how they're funded too.
hmm
I mean, for the
Yeah.
database so they can get funding. And I thought a point that you brought up, so they know in particular where the problem is.
Yes.
But also, I think it's important, which to be database because they don't go on their feelings or their judgments or what they like and what they don't like. So it's that the facts don't lie,
hmm
and the facts aren't judgmental.
hmm
And so that's, I think that's,
Right,
important.
because it could be something that's just irritating to the teacher versus that it being a problem.
Exactly.
So, because we all have our things that may bother us.
Yep, the hot
and
buttons.
so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right, I like that. All right, good. Okay, so what we're going to do is here, and the data, to remember the key things are, I think I said this before, but I don't think Robin heard that we need to keep it simple, short, concise, and factual.
okay.
And then we need to think about the family members collecting data, the educational staff collecting data, and the specialists. So when there is an upper tier, we have a group involvement, which is nice. So
Yes.
you get the teacher's input, you get the family's input, and then you get the professional
Right.
input. We all collaborate and work it out. And collecting data in multiple settings. So that's, so you just don't take it in one area, but like you take one at snack and maybe one outside, so you get a rounded view of the child.
Right.
Okay? Oh, and here, you want to read that one?
Reinforce people for collecting data.
Yes.
So,
So wait.
yes.
So because it is a work.
Yes.
And it is time consuming, and it is, you have to make time, and our time is very valuable. So,
Right.
so when people are collecting data, we need to really say good job, thank you, and keep up the good work. Okay. Okay, and also like here with the data collection, it's the team identifies data to be collected, based on the goals identified. Like, and when you do a data, it's important that you just do on one area. Because if you do it like on 5 or 6 different areas, you're all over the place. So I think when you start, you do it on one specific area,
Right.
and you get that under your belt, or you get that working, and you work through it, and so you just do one. And data collection method identifies the what, the when, the how, and the who. Okay, so that's in what, when, how, and who. And then, and also to say again is that the data collection needs to be easy for classroom staff to collect, and as accurate as possible, and to measure what it is intended to measure. So, just what do you think that's saying if you were to rephrase it?
Well, it needs to be, you need to have a specific thing that you're watching for,
Okay.
and you need to, measure it easy so that everybody can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, good. I like that. So then we did that. Now we're going to talk about, okay, the positive behavior, the ABC behavior. And I gave you a sheet right here. Let's look at that sheet. And it talks about the antecedent. So what do you think would be the antecedent that we're going to look for?
the trigger, what causes the problem?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says, like setting for the behavior, the trigger.
Yeah.
What would you say are Avery's triggers?
When she wants something and she can't have it at the time.
Okay, yeah.
When she wants to play with somebody and then they don't want to play with her. I think those two right there are major ones.
Yeah.
Or if she doesn't want to play with them.
Yeah.
And they want to play with her, that can
Right.
be a trigger too.
Okay, good.
Because I would say those three.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay,
So-
good. And then so the A is the antecedent, or like what it says, like the trigger. You know, what starts it coming. And then the behavior. You want to read that one?
A specific action that a person does that can be observed. Feeling words versus descriptive words, learned versus reflective.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think would be the antecedent? But like Avery doesn't get what you want. So then what do you think the behavior is?
She screams.
Yeah.
Or she'll hit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, good. And then the consequences, that's what happens immediately after the behavior. So that's kind of, and I think, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do these. We're going to become really familiar with them. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important to have like a data that you're comfortable with, that you know, and then your mind automatically thinks that way.
Right.
The trigger or the antecedent, the behavior, and then the consequence. And so, and you just write down here the facts, and then the comments, are what you can glean from that information. Okay. All right. Then we have. Okay, we have Gabriella. You want to read the Gabriella thing?
Gabriella's playing in her room. Her mom says, "Come on, Gabriella, time to go to school." Her mom pulls on her arm to try to get Gabriella to stand and go to the car. Gabriella yells, screams, and begins kicking at her toys. Her mother says, "All right, 5 more minutes, but then we must go." Gabriella's mom walks away, and Gabriella continues playing with her toys.
Okay, so with the ABC thing, the trigger is what?
She's playing the trigger is she's playing her room, and then it's time to get ready to go, and she doesn't want to go.
Okay, she wants to keep
playing
in her room. And then the behavior, she yells, screams, and kicks. And so what do you think the consequence is?
Or mom gives in and gives her 5 more minutes. I mean, yeah. So
that probably doesn't help her.
No.
Because it's really helping her get what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think she's gleaning from her behavior?
Well, she's learning that if she does it, she can get her way.
Yeah.
She can get a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's not really teaching her to, do what mom says at that time, or that it's time to go. We need to leave now. It's letting her do it a little longer.
Yeah. So and as I just was thinking that this is really good to look at this, I just write down. Then you can see sometimes what the what is she gleaning from that behavior? Is it helping or is it hindering? And in this case, you're right. It was hurting. I mean, it was helping her because she got 5 more minutes.
Yeah, she got 5 more minutes out of it. So.
All right. Then we have Madison, and I'll read that one. Madison is in housekeeping, putting on high heels and a hat. Emily moves into the area and selects a purse from the dress-ups. Madison shouts, "No!" and bites Emily. A teacher comes over. She asks Madison to go to the thinking chair and takes Emily to the bathroom to look at the bite. After 4 minutes, Madison leaves the thinking chair and returns to housekeeping. She grabs the purse Emily had selected and continues to play. Emily leaves the bathroom with the teacher and then begins an art activity where the teacher is present. So what would be the trigger or the antecedent?
Well, Emily coming into the play area.
Mm-hmm.
And taking the purse. I mean,
Right.
it could have still been sitting there, but in Madison's mind, it was hers to play with.
Exactly.
So,
Right. And then the behavior, she shouts and bites. And that's pretty, I think when a child bites, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive.
And, and that can really hurt, and it's not really good at all.
No.
So the behavior. So what do you think were the consequences?
The sitting in the thinking chair to think about what she did.
Do you think that helped?
I think so. It's because let me read what Madison did after that. Madison leaves the thinking chair and returns to housekeeping. She grabs the purse Emily had selected. But the only thing is that she got the purse.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to reread that part.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
The only problem is that she went straight back to housekeeping and got the purse.
Right.
So that really didn't help because I didn't teach her. It's like, oh, I bet I had to sit for just 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I can go over here and get the purse. But Emily, who on the other hand now is doing something totally different.
Yeah.
So
that kind of is the same thing where she got rewarded for her bad behavior.
Right.
That eventually she did get what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
That's so key to learn about that. I like that. So this is kind of like what we're going to be doing, to look at the triggers, the antecedent, the specific behavior, and then the consequences.
Right.
And I think that will really help us see whether we are rewarding that behavior.
But then looking at it this way versus us being the actual teachers is a little different because we're not seeing it. We're still doing it, but we're not seeing, like, sitting there personally watching. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do get what you're saying.
Yeah, because we're not watching it. So it's like somebody else watching it and pointing it out is different than us watching it and, So us doing, because, it's little, because here we're able to say, this is exactly the consequence, and now,
Right.
So
that's probably, I think as we get more familiar with this, I think it will come automatic.
Yeah.
And I think it will, in the end, will help us to see whether, we're being consistent and not rewarding that behavior.
Right.
Or are we being consistent in helping them choose another behavior or choose the right way of, responding. What would be the right way for Madison's teacher to deal with that? What would you suggest?
Well, I would suggest that Madison talks to Emily about it. And then honestly, I would say that, I know with another kid that I've had experience with, when physical happens, you're done with that area for the day.
Okay.
So when something physical happens, housekeeping is done for the day, and now you can move on and you can play other places in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So I know that that's one thing we've been doing with another child that I've been with.
Right.
So when something, if it turns physical, then we're done with that area today. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So that she wouldn't get what she wanted to.
Right. And especially when it comes to something as bad as biting the child. I think that it would be...
I'm going to stop this.
Oh, well, we can...
Okay. Stop it. Oh, we didn't stop it.